The room is quiet, late at night, the hum of your laptop, the silence between heartbeats, and you're sitting there with that familiar feeling, the one you don't talk about, the voice that says you're not good enough, that you're behind, that everyone else figured it out and you're still pretending. You've been told that voice is the enemy, that you need to love yourself first, affirm yourself, be kind to yourself. And maybe that's true, but here's what nobody tells you. That voice, the one that hates you, the one that pushes you when nothing else will, it's been keeping you alive. I used to wake up every morning and the first thought wasn't good morning. It was you wasted yesterday. And I'd use that feeling like fuel. I'd punish myself into the gym, into the work, into becoming someone I could finally respect. And it worked, for a while. The self-hate made me disciplined. It made me move when I didn't feel like it. It made me someone who looked like they had their life together. But here's what I didn't see then. I wasn't building discipline. I was building a prison, and the warden was the voice I thought was helping me. You see, self-hate doesn't create discipline. It creates compliance, and there's a difference. Discipline is choosing to act because you know who you're becoming. Compliance is forcing yourself to act because you're terrified of who you are. One is built on vision. The other is built on fear, and fear works until it doesn't. You're allowed to ask yourself why this voice exists. You're allowed to question what it wants for you. Because here's what happens when self-hate powers your discipline. You become dependent on feeling worthless to take action. You need to hate yourself to move. And the moment you start to feel good, the moment you make progress, the moment someone compliments you, the moment you catch yourself in the mirror and think, maybe I'm doing okay, your system panics. Because if you don't hate yourself anymore, what will make you move? If you're not running from shame, where's the fuel? And so you sabotage, you skip the workout, you break the streak, you do something to prove to yourself that you were right all along, you're not good enough. And the cycle starts again. I did this for years. Every time I'd get close to something real, close to actually becoming the person I said I wanted to be, I'd find a way to fall apart. Not dramatically, just quietly, like a secret only I knew. I'd miss a day, then a week. Then I'd be back where I started, hating myself again. And I'd tell myself, okay, now I'm motivated. But I wasn't motivated. I was just scared again. The worst part, I didn't know I was doing it. And fear is a terrible foundation for anything that's supposed to last. So let me ask you something. Have you noticed this pattern in yourself? That the only time you feel driven is when you feel worthless, that you need to be broken to be willing to build. If that's true, then you're not actually interested in discipline. You're interested in punishment. And punishment doesn't transform you. It just keeps you trapped in the same story. I'm not enough, so I'll force myself to be enough, and when I get close, I'll destroy it, because deep down I don't believe I deserve it. But here's what I learned the hard way. And this is the part that changed everything. Self-hate can start the engine, but it can't sustain the journey, because discipline built on self-hate is discipline that ends the moment you stop hating yourself. And if you never stop hating yourself, then what was the point? You don't have to love yourself to be disciplined. That's the lie Instagram sells you. But you do have to stop using hatred as your only fuel, because hatred makes you move, yes, but it also makes you fragile. It makes every mistake feel like proof you were right about yourself. It makes rest feel like weakness. It makes joy feel like you're forgetting to suffer. I once knew someone who ran every morning. Rain, snow, exhaustion didn't matter, and everyone thought he had incredible discipline. But one day I asked him why he ran, and he said, because if I don't, I hate who I see in the mirror. That's not discipline. That's a hostage situation. And he was both the hostage and the captor. He ran every morning to avoid himself. But the day he stopped running, that's when he really met who he was. Real discipline, it looks quieter. It's the person who runs because they decided that's who they are now, not to escape who they were, not to punish themselves into becoming worthy, just because they chose it. And when they miss a day, they don't spiral. They just start again, because the foundation isn't shame, it's choice. So if your discipline only works when you hate yourself, you're not disciplined. You're just good at being your own enemy, and maybe that's kept you moving. Maybe that's gotten you this far, but it won't get you where you actually want to go. Because where you want to go requires you to stop seeing yourself as something that needs to be fixed, and start seeing yourself as something that's being built. It's hard to build discipline on self-love when all you've known is self-hate, but it is possible, and it starts with seeing the difference. Here's the question then. What would your discipline look like if it wasn't powered by how much you hated yourself? What would it look like if you moved not because you were running from shame, but because you were walking toward something real? I don't know what your answer is, but I know this. If you can't imagine discipline without self-hate, then you're not free yet. You're just really good at being controlled by the voice you think is on your side. So tonight, sit with this. Not to fix it, not to solve it, just to see it. Ask yourself, when was the last time I did something hard not because I hated who I was, but because I knew who I was becoming? And if you can't remember, that's okay. That just means the work starts now. I won't tell you to love yourself. That's not my job, but I will tell you this. Discipline built on fear is just control. Discipline built on choice is freedom. And you're the only one who gets to decide which one you're building. Sit with that tonight. We'll talk again when you're ready. When the morning comes, pay attention to which version of you wakes up. That's the one you're building.